as well to the Premier. Good morning, Premier. The Ontario Progressive Conservative Party has had a long-standing opposition to the Green Energy Act. We know that for every job it creates, we lose 4 more. Those are the auditor's numbers, not just ours. We know, for example, that municipalities across Ontario are opposed to this because they've had their locally based decision-making stripped. We know, for example, that no health and scientific studies were done prior to the Green Energy Act being in place, and now Health Canada has to come in and clean up the mess of this Liberal government. And finally, Speaker, we know from travelling across the province that the Green Energy Act is the single biggest driver of increasing hydro costs in this province. And if those facts weren't enough for this government, they would surely know that when they broke the World Trade Organization laws, that enough was enough.
Attorney General, come to order.
Will they scrap the Green Energy Act so we can finally get prices under control?
Be seated, please. The Attorney General will come to order. Premier.
Minister of Energy.
Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, I too am energized this morning, especially with my special Sault Ste. Marie tie. Compliments of the member over there. But I will say, Mr. Speaker,
Much better than Vex.
This party across there thinks they know what renewable energy is all about. So what they do is they introduce a Million Jobs Act, Mr. Speaker. In the $1 Million Act, they say they are going to cancel existing 255 existing renewable contracts with wind developers. That's $20 billion of power supply, Mr. Speaker. The Leader of the Opposition is smiling. He should be embarrassed by the act that he introduced here. Mr. Speaker, there will be a cost associated with the cancellations.
Answer.
That is a legal opinion that we have. They believe at the end of the process, when the developer has complied with all provisions, their Minister of Energy, if they ever get to form government, will be able to cancel the contract.
Thank you. Time's up. Supplementary.
That was bizarre, Speaker. So I'm just going to say this. If anybody should be embarrassed, it's the last decade of decline by the Liberal government as they drove hydro rates through the roof, as they broke international law, as they ignored the fact that we need health and scientific studies on the GEA. It's the fact that we are losing jobs because of this government. They should be embarrassed. But, Speaker, this is a government that is beyond reproach, and I'll tell you why. They're not only happy with having an OPP investigation launched into them on the gas plants, they're not only happy having the OPP investigate them on Orange, they also are international lawbreakers. My leader has stated that Bill 153, which is supposed to bring Canada into compliance at the WTO, will not pass by the deadline. We know that this is going to embarrass the federal government. It could put our province into an international trade war. Will they do the right thing? Will they stand with us? Will they eliminate the Green Energy Act to make sure Canada is no longer America?
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. The member from Northumberland, Quinte West, is not doing himself any favors. Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, if that party ever got to be in power, they would spend $20 billion on new nuclear that we don't need. They would send prices skyrocketing.
Member from Nepean Carleton will come to order.
If that party got in power, they would cancel $20 billion in contracts. Wow. Legal contracts, Mr. Speaker. They want the right to cancel contracts that developers are 100% in compliance with, Mr. Speaker. That is the type of government they're going to have. Energy rates would soar under that party the way they soared when they were in government before, Mr. Speaker. They have no credible plan. They don't understand renewable energy.
Prince Edward Hastings will come to order.
Health care that benefits from renewable energy. I coached a hockey team, Mr. Speaker, where 6 kids on the bench had asthma.
Excuse me. Stop it. Stop the clock. I'm disappointed in some of the comments that some people are making, and I will just jump right to warnings now.